So this is a healing about a woman in her 20s who was going to have a polyp removed from her uterus. And so she wanted to see me before the surgery and then after the surgery. So before the surgery, when I tuned in, I could see inside the right wall of the uterus this polyp. It was, like a kind of a ball, a teeny little ball, and about half inch big. And so I tuned into it and basically tried to give a lot of energy to that whole area before the surgery. Then, after the surgery, a couple of days later, this is when the big healing really happened here, because now they cut away, obviously, the physical polyp in the uterine wall. And originally, when I tuned in, I could still see the auric polyp faintly, because I had done a lot in the previous healing before the surgery to take away the underlying energy body of that polyp. So already it was already dissolving energetically. But after the surgery, I still saw a teeny little bit, but it didn't take long for me to just tune into that. The part that was sticking out of the uterine wall, the energy that remained dissolved really quickly. Then I went underneath the wall of the uterus, and what I saw there was this root. It was a root of that polyp that was still there, at least at the energetic level. It was this hard rubber, about a half inch deep, and pretty thin as well. But it was, it was like a plugging the uterine wall, and so I knew I had to focus on that and try to dissolve and erase that half inch rubber plug still inside the uterine wall. Now, I don't know if there was a physical structure there, but energetically, that's what was there after they cut the polyp. Now my client complained of a lot of cramping and also blood coming from the cutting the polyp. So my goal here was to erase that hard rubber plug that was inside the uterine wall, because that's the root. That was the root of the polyp, and if I can't dissolve it, if it doesn't get dissolved or at the auric level and erased, that's the root of the polyp, it's going to come back again probably. All right, so there's that very, very specific area of that uterine wall is compromised, and so I tried really, really hard to dissolve that root. So when tuning into it, pumping a lot of energy into it, all of a sudden I saw this massive cavern, which was like this whole auric hip area on the right side open up. And I saw all of this anger coming from male energy. And I'm pretty sure I know some things about my client. And there's been a long-standing, argument. The father has been very, very domineering, doesn't want her to marry a particular guy, really doesn't, want him in the family. So, and of course, she's really attached to him. She loves this guy she wants to marry, but the father's very sort of bombastic. And I could see the whole energy. This was where the cramping was. I could feel the whole cramping, that was behind this cavernous wall, and it all sort of pointed inward to the root of that polyp. So tuning into it now, I saw him screaming. I saw him yelling endlessly. It was like it just came out so much, diffusing. This has been going on for at least a year. This yelling by the father to get her to, give up this dream of marrying this guy. And the thing about his yelling is that I could see he had this really strong right side root chakra that was driving down as he yelled. So he was sort of really he was just sort of irritating this whole right side of my client's uterine wall with this right side root chakra, you know, almost like it had a military kind of quality to it, you know. So he's putting down his right foot, and that right side root chakra created so much heat, and for some reason, his particular right side of his root chakra had a particularly strong area right where that polyp eventually sort of burned its energetic hole into my client's uterine wall. So anyway, by the end of this healing, I had dissolved that year-long yelling. It was very, very intense. This whole area was heated. And then finally, towards the end, I saw it had calmed down tremendously. I didn't see any more yelling in there. And now I saw a rim, like a little rim around where that plug inside the uterine wall still was. So I was determined to make that little hole where the root of the polyp was the same as the rest of the uterine wall. If I can get the uterine wall to be uniform so that I can't see that plug underneath the uterine wall anymore, and I can't see a hole where the polyp originally grew, and so I just focused to harmonize the whole wall. And I feel like I got to like 90 something percent that I didn't see any abnormality in that wall, in the uterine wall at the end of the healing. So that's really important, you know, to try to get to healing the root, finding out what the root is, getting to the bottom of what caused it, and then dissolving it, allowing that energy to release, and then hopefully making sure that everything, you know, looks uniform now. There's no anomaly in the wall. There's no, you know, difference in the wall. So, all right.